Hi, my name is Jesse. Welcome to Great State. Today we're going to be talking about working with children in teletherapy for you, the therapist. And you're not just going to be talking to me because I'm bringing in a special guest today. Welcome to Great State. As you know, my name is Jesse, and this is my very good friend, Erin. I've known her for many years now, and I've known her through most of my graduate school experience. And we've had the great opportunity as well to work in the same room together, doing some co-therapy and working with kids, and it's been so much fun. She's on my very short list of people that I'm like, if I have a question about working with children that I go to. She is an LMHC in New York City, as well as an LPC in Connecticut. And she has been working with kids and families for over 10 years in a variety of therapeutic settings, and currently also has her own private practice in New York City. Erin, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be a part of this.
Awesome. So in my last video, or one of my last videos, I talked a lot about some of the pros and cons of teletherapy for patients as well as for therapists. And in this video today, I want to talk about working with kids as a therapist in teletherapy. I've talked to parents who are concerned about, their kids and, how effective is teletherapy with that for them. And I've talked to a lot of therapists who have had some successes and some struggles in working with kids, right? I mean, if they have a short attention span and like they're running off and distracted, squirrel,
Just like
um,
that. Exactly.
and even you've told me that you've had kids shut laptops. um,
Goodbye. Just
yeah, see you
it's
later.
fun.
So my question for you is, as a therapist, right? When someone calls me and is wanting to book a session for their child, what are
Mhm.
some things that I can do in that initial conversation with parents that are going to help set up the session for success?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely talk coaching the parent how to engage their child because I think usually we would be in person with the parent and the child and we could do that together.
Mhm.
So talking to the parent about um, framing the therapy session that counts a lot. Be excited about it and make it sound exciting.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean you have to lie. I think you can say, we've been talking about some struggles we've been having, and here's a person that you can talk to or get to know, and they are trained in knowing how to help you. And we really all want you to feel better. So you can make that sounds much more exciting than we're taking you to therapy,
Mm.
which is honest and true. But it's always helpful to explain it a little bit more on what exactly the appointment is going to be. Usually I do that right at the outset, but with teletherapy, it's helpful for the parents to do it. So the kids are ready and prepared.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. I think parents can definitely set the tone. Certainly if you've got a parent who's like, we're making you talk to this person, you've got to talk to this person, and you better behave. And, they kind of put this negative spin on it from the
Yeah.
beginning, right?
Yeah.
Kids are going to read into that and they're going to carry that energy into the room or into the Zoom call or whatever platform that you're using to talk to them. Um,
Right.
yeah, and so then I guess as a therapist, when right, I've got the kids on the line and things, what are the kinds of things that I can do to, for that engagement and keeping them interested in the session, right? Because we're not in the same room with each other.
Yeah, yeah, and it's tough sometimes because when you're in the same room, I can have like different toys and activities and things that at least if we're not doing them right now, I can say, "Hey, we're going to get to that." And in teletherapy, it's just the video. It's a lot more difficult. So I always go in with a plan. Now, I know most of the times when as therapists, we always have a plan, but we're also prepared for the unexpected. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, we've all been there. I think even more so with teletherapy with kids, have more kind of more than a plan is maybe what I should say, like an
Plan
extra plan.
A, plan B, plan C. Yeah, I certainly, right. I go in to my sessions with a plan, but I've definitely, I have a plan, and then all of a sudden someone's like, in the Choose Your Own Adventure book, they took an unexpected path, and suddenly we're talking about something completely different, and you got to wing it a little bit, but having some things in your back pocket, I think, is really important when working with people.
Yeah, I think I've just found doing teletherapy with kids, I have more of a plan than I used to, where I used to be able to go in and say, "Oh, if this doesn't work, I've got this activity I can just pull out." I can't do that anymore. So having some very specific things together is very important.
Mhm.
I have learned the beauty of screen sharing. So using whiteboard on Zoom has been excellent because both you and the child can draw on it. So you can have them draw you things,
Nice.
you can challenge them, you can play Pictionary. It's been really great.
That's so
Um,
cool.
yeah, yeah, that's been a wonderful discovery.
I've
Um,
found also, if I want to share a video or something like that too, right? I can utilize that sometimes, and or as a break, we can watch something funny together, and then like kind of go on with the session, or like you said with the whiteboard, right? You can play tic tac toe, you can play all these things. I know
yeah,
you also mentioned too that there are some games that you can play with kids online, and I guess can you explain to me some of your uses of gameplay with teletherapy as either
yeah.
a part of the therapeutic process or as part of a way to break up sessions or as rewards in sessions?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of games and apps out there that you can, if you have it, and I always, of course, check in with a parent first and say, is it okay for your child to have this game or app on their phone or your or the parent's phone? And if I send a code, the client and I can be playing the exact same game on our own tablets. It's pretty awesome. So, a game like Exploding Kittens, which is usually a card game, there's an online app version, and it's great for frustration tolerance. I mean, it's one of those games you can't predict. It's random. I've had kids get really angry when they don't win, and so we work on coping skills when you're frustrated. It's
Nice.
perfect. It's
I've
also really fun.
I've actually played Exploding Kittens, but physically with kids, and used it in session before where we get to play a game or we'll
Yeah,
talk while we're playing a game. So Exploding Kittens is certainly great, assuming that, depending on the age of the kid and stuff and permission of the parents, of course. I've
exactly.
actually in the links below, if people are interested in any of the games or things that like Erin's talking about, some of them will have links in the description, so you can go ahead and if that's something that works for you, you can use that in your own practice.
Yeah. There's also some card games you can play collaboratively. I haven't played any of those recently, but I know they're out there. So definitely do some research. I know Uno's a pretty typical therapist game when you're working with kids, every new color, say a new feeling,
Mhm.
things like that. So you can find those. There's online chess, which can be good for patience,
Mhm.
again, frustration tolerance, or just to engage it with a kid. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, sounds great. I love it. And so then what do you have any are there challenges in picking like different therapeutic interventions that like some, just don't work right over Zoom and some that do? And I guess where are you finding these things or what types of interventions are you going to most often in this like new world of teletherapy?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been more of a CBT behavioral therapist person. So a lot of CBT interventions are available online or on worksheets that you can upload to your computer and you can screen share. You can do them together. They're great because it's homework, so you can do a lot of the introducing of the skill or the activity in the session, and then you can email the parent a copy of the worksheet, and the parent can do it with the child over the week and bring it back in. So that I found has been very helpful and useful, that I don't have to change too much about what I'm doing with CBT. It was just how I'm presenting it and bring it to the session.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
In the description below, I also put a link to there's a website called therapistaid.com. I've used it sometimes. I browse there for ideas for worksheets, things like that. You can sort by type of therapy, age of client, and some of the stuff there has been really, really useful for myself. And, if you're not already aware of it, it's there. Also, obviously, Google is fantastic for finding lots of those things. So
Yeah.
go ahead and, use whatever means available to you to find those things.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought up parents, right? Because I think that today, I don't know about you, but I've certainly talked to a lot of parents, both professionally and also personally, about the challenges and struggles of their kids are now doing work at home. And some parents need to be really engaged in really, like, helping their kid every step of the way, attend these Zoom classes and things like that. So what
Mhm.
is the level of like parental engagement that is typically required for, kids and working, with a therapist online?
Yeah, I mean, I think being aware and being available during that appointment time is really important. I think it can be so easy when you're at home and your child is on your laptop or your desktop and doing their therapy session, and you're giving them their privacy with their therapist, all of which are great things. But it can be so easy to just like go about your day and do other things at home.
Mhm.
So I think being aware of the fact that your child is doing a therapy session so you can be ready and available should you be needed, as opposed to in person, you're waiting in the lobby or in the car or wherever it is.
Yeah.
And so you are available. So just being mindful about that during teletherapy. Text messaging for me with parents has been super useful, especially for the client who shut the computer on me. I can very quickly text said person's mother and say, hey, shut me out again. Can you turn the computer back on? It's been very helpful.
I imagine that had to be a funny conversation.
It it is, and, she and I have a great text relationship now, it's wonderful.
That's awesome. How much are you utilizing like family therapy as well, right? Where you've got kid and parents in the room at the same time?
Yeah, I think it depends from kid to kid. I haven't been utilizing it as much recently, but when I first started teletherapy, I was using it much more
Mhm.
as an engagement tool for the parent to also model for their child of this is what you do for therapy,
Mhm.
especially for younger ones. It's
Yeah.
been very helpful. For older kids, I think teenagers I've seen, they're more like, great, I get to shut my door, be in my room, and talk with my therapist. And so it's been a lot easier. But I think teletherapy also has been great when I've got parents who are working and kids who are at home with another parent, and we can just all zoom in together and
Mhm.
do family therapy that way.
Yeah.
Or just engaging, having families, do a game on their own at home. And I'm just facilitating it. I'm just the one who's saying, coaching a parent on how to engage with their kid maybe differently in a way that could be helpful, or coaching the child on how to respond to their parent.
Mhm.
So you can still do that even if you're not present and in the room.
Awesome. There was one tool that I did want to talk about too that we didn't go over before that I always found fascinating with people I've shared with and times I've tried it myself. But you talked about utilizing scavenger hunts.
Oh yeah, I love scavenger hunts.
Yeah, can you
Like the
explain that a
scavenger
little bit and
great.
like how you use it and how people might go about using it themselves?
Yeah, so I do a lot of coping skills scavenger hunts or first sessions. It's great. It's introductory. And so asking a child or adolescent to just find something in their room that helps them feel calm, or find something in their house where they really like that smell. Um, Finding something that's special to them.
Mhm.
Um, Finding, oh, pets. Pets are my favorite. Can you show me your pet? Oh, man. And they bring in their dogs or their cats and they're all squirmy, but it's so fun. So, and I really had good feedback from that activity with kids.
Mhm.
I think that they've just really engaged in it and have said that it's been really fun and exciting. And I mean, that's the one nice thing about teletherapy. We get to actually see them in the environment they live in, and
Mhm.
they can share more of themselves in a way that's not using as many words,
Yeah.
which is a part of development. Kids, that's why play therapy works. That's why CBT works with kids, because they're learning to develop their words. So that's been really great and fun.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it too. I mean, getting that snapshot into people's worlds has been very interesting, regardless if they're kids, adolescents, adults. And certainly I love seeing pets. And my own pet occasionally, no, she's not here right now. She occasionally has made a cameo as well, and said hi to people. So that's always been a lot of fun. Is there anything else that you would want to add to, as far as for therapists who are, possibly worried about interacting with kids online or having their own troubles, or, what has, any like, last words, pieces of advice for people out there?
Yeah, I think It's definitely hard, and I think the younger the child, the more difficult it is. Teens have not been as difficult. They're usually pretty quick to want to chat to their therapist online. Um, but I'd say younger kids, just keep at it. I know that for me, in-person therapy, it can take a while for a child to feel more comfortable and for you to actually get to the meat of things that are going on.
Mhm.
And so I would say expect double that in teletherapy and open communication with parents about that. You know, when they bring up I had a lot of parents say, uh, I don't think it's working or I don't see any change. And so reminding and supporting families that it might take a little bit longer because we are doing this from a distance and we're all doing the best that we can. But it'll happen eventually if you keep at it. And so staying consistent, being that consistent person with activities and time and planning and collaborating with parents, that's 100% helpful.
Absolutely. Is there
Yeah.
an age you feel that is too young or that is really, really difficult? Like where's your bottom end, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I say generally speaking, I won't meet with a child for individual therapy under the age of
Mhm.
6-ish, anyways, even in person,
Yeah.
because that's mostly family therapy.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't change anything about that for myself and my own practice. That anybody younger than 6, I'm going to be asking for more family therapy, anyways.
Mhm.
And then 6 and up, I would do some individual, some family, depending on the needs. So
Gotcha.
I kind of stick to my usual practice, but it's all within your comfort level.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Erin, for being here and talking to me about this topic. It's definitely
Yeah.
one that I want to talk about, but I wanted to bring in somebody who is doing more work with kids than I am currently, and
Yeah.
certainly has a great perspective on it. I really respect your opinion on anything related to working with children. So thank you so much.
Aw, thank you. Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Absolutely. So please, if you're interested in seeing what Erin's doing and you live in like New York City or New York State, I guess, and
New York
Connecticut,
State or Connecticut. Yeah, either.
her Psychology Today profile is below. Also, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to bring in some more interviews from a variety of people and variety of therapists about what the work they're doing online right now. And that will wrap up this latest episode of Great States. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel further, I've got a Patreon. It allows me to continue to make high quality videos and continue doing the therapy that I am for the people who need it. Thank you and welcome to Great State.
Jesse, come back. Jesse, sit down. There you are.